Hey folks, this is Clay Dennis with Southern Hearth and Patio. At Southern Hearth, things are a little bit different. We don't just focus on sales, but we focus on knowledge, experience, and education. So today we're going to start a few videos to show you how to use the things that you buy from us and be a little safer with it and be a little bit more confident. I'm going to show you how to light a pilot light this morning. The phone call I get the most often this time of year is, how do I light my pilot light again? It's been a year since you've done it, so it's not uncommon. Here's what we want to do. Start with the full off position. Now, in this particular case, the off is readable as it's pointed up. As you can see, it's here versus the other two positions. In some cases, there's going to be an arrow or a line, and that's where that's got to go. So what we're going to do here is we're going to switch this to the pilot position, as you can see here. Pilot straight up. Press in to bypass the valve. Hit the igniter. Now it's more likely, or most likely, that it's not going to light the very first time that you do this. Don't get discouraged. There's air in there that's been in there for the last several months, and you're going to have to purge that air through the pilot assembly. So what we're going to do here is just let that thermopile heat up, and that is going to allow my valve to stay lit without me having to hold it in the whole time. But until it's heated, I'm going to have to hold it in with my thumb. So we're going to give this 20 to 30 seconds and then begin to release it. And as you can see, the pilot holds itself. Okay? Now, the job is only half done. What we want to do, now the pilot is done, we press in the valve and we turn it to the full on position. Okay, and if you'll see, the valve is now on and it's ready to be turned on with your switch or remote control. Now, anytime that I have a remote hooked up like we do on this one, I always want to check it with the switch first. Alright, switch is working fine. Now I'm going to test it with the remote control. Alright, remote's working fine. Okay, now we put our logs back together and we're done. It's not uncommon this time of year to have remote control problems, and most likely they're just battery issues. The most important thing to remember is while you certainly have a battery in here, you also have batteries in a receiver box. Now the receiver box, most common, will remove this way to reveal either AA or AAA batteries, depending on which one you have. So make sure, whatever you do, that you remember those batteries. You'll have three positions: off, remote, and on. When I do a test, I always switch it to the on position. Now that means that the handheld remote is no longer active, but it tells me that at least the connections between this box and my burner are good. So that's really important. So let's switch this back to the off position, and then we'll switch it to remote position. Now that we know the box works, we're going to test the remote control. Remote works perfectly fine. Ready to go for the year. As an addendum to your remote control troubleshooting, when you change the batteries, or if the batteries have been dead for a while, you may need to reset your remote control to your receiver box. Basically, we're going to have different frequencies here so that every time you turn your gas logs on, it doesn't open your neighbor's garage door. So in order to keep those things matched, what we're going to do is come over here, you lift the box, and if you look, you'll see a Learn Recessed button. Now what we're going to do is we'll use a pen, scratch all, something small like this, paper clip, toothpick. We'll press this in. You heard it beep. Grab your remote control, hold it within 1 foot, and it is now relearned. Problem solved.